how's it going? How's your day been? Has it been awesome? Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time to check out Pan That Palette. Update number, is this number two? Number 2 or number 3? It's not quite number 3 since I didn't do a January update, but regardless, I'm working on my LORAC Pro 2. I've made substantial progress already in this palette, and so I'm kind of using it in tandem with a lot of other things. So let me show you where I was, because the shade that I've really been focusing on this past month and a half has been the shade Plum. So let me show you where I was with Plum last month, and then we'll talk about where the palette is currently. All right, and here we go. As you can see, like I worked on the shade Navy for the first part of the year. I loved wearing it on my lower lash line. Lately, I've really been going in with the shade Plum. Again, I'm wearing it on my lower lash line, and I absolutely have had so much fun with it. I am at the point where I want to try a couple more looks with Plum, but I feel like it has gotten to the point where it's a little bit too dry of a shadow to use elsewhere in my crease and other things, and so I'm kind of doing a play-by-ear basis, but I will be posting a look fairly soon where I'm duping a what do you call it? It's like an eyeshadow collection set from ColourPop that has a shade that's very similar to Electric from the Anastasia Subculture palette, Glass Bowl. There's a matte black, there's a plum, a shimmery champagne, and then there was, I think that's it in that collection. So I'm going to be doing another look with this and kind of focusing it on my crease to see how I feel about it, or, you know, otherwise I'm going to continue using it on my lower lash line because I really love it there. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. It looks stunning with greens, it looks stunning with blues, it looks stunning with pink, and with the coral trend happening right now, it's really been a fun shade. Now, in terms of moving forward, as far as we get into April, I really want to step back hard into this palette. And so to kind of give you a game plan of what I intend to do, I really want to recreate a look that is inspired by the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette. And so I'm really going to be going in hard with the shade Silver. I'd like to hit Pan. And then I'm also going to be using what's left over of Cocoa. I want to go in and clear out what's left of Nectar. And then let's kind of use this as a segue. I've gone through my collection, and I had a small palette that I was using for the first couple of months that I picked a couple of shades that were complementary to things that would have been in here had I still had this palette. I did go through after I made the collection tag video that Georgia Harris created, so I'll go on and link that video up here in the card above. I did go through again and just kind of do a real quick declutter and just reevaluate some of the shadows that I know needed to go because they were too old, and I also wanted to get rid of a couple of things. And so this is kind of what my complementary palette is looking like. And the shadows that I've been working on, in particular, to kind of go with the LORAC Pro 2 theme, I've been panning the shade Coconut Cream from my Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. This would have been a shade that is very similar to Buff from the LORAC Pro 2. So I thought it would pair nicely and give me an option to really kind of progress through some more things in my collection. I also finished a really shimmery white shade from LORAC that was back in February that was similar to Snow. And so I feel like that's another 2 shades out of here. I've also been working on kind of tannish browns for the light brown shade. And then there were a couple that I wanted to talk to you about because I pulled, since Nectar is going to go really fast, I went through and I pulled out Looky at My Cookie from the Too Faced Gingerbread palette because it's actually quite similar to Nectar. So I wanted to go on and kind of toss that in so I'm prepped and ready to have an instant backup to go through. And then also I had, I pulled out MAC Satin Taupe to be a dupe for Chrome that was down here. It was kind of a silvery, taupey, purple kind of vibe shade, but my Satin Taupe was just, it's old. Like I noticed that it was starting to have a little bit of that like film on the top, not film, but like when it gets the little bumps, and I can't be bothered with that. So I got rid of it. And instead I pulled in another shade from my collection that it's not quite as dark, but I thought it might be kind of fun to pair in with the charcoal shade, and that is the shade Vex from MAC. So I want to use that for a little bit and see, and it has kind of a duochrome shift. Hopefully the lighting is going to pick up kind of what's going on with that shadow, but I really wanted to kind of give myself an alternative, and I don't remember what the shade name of this one is because I've rearranged the palettes, but it came out of a LORAC, one of the Mega Pro versions, and it's kind of similar to Satin Taupe. It's not quite as dark, but kind of a similar vein. If I paired it with the plum shade, it might look pretty similar. So that's kind of what we're working with, and I picked some other things out of here too. Like I brought in a matte black from my Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar. I've pulled in an espresso brown that I'm working on. And I've pulled some other things in here that I thought would pair really nicely. And I also kind of wanted to go with a Anastasia Riviera vibe to mix in with what's left in my LORAC Pro 2. So I pulled out some Juvia's Place shadows, like this bright purple reminded me of a shade from the Riviera palette. The bright pink, also going in with this kind of oceanic blue down here. This came out of the Too Faced Clover palette. It's the shade Spoiled. Just a real easy shimmery blue. I thought that would look gorgeous with navy and with charcoal, and then even with mocha to kind of give it a little bit of a different vibe. And then I pulled in some other things too. So be on the lookout. I will be coming up with some kind of summer inspired get ready with me's, but in terms of panning, it's definitely going to be work on plum as much as I can. And then as we get into April, I'm really going to be going in hard with that sultry kind of vibe and see what I can do to hit pan and silver. So other than that, that's about it. Thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your time. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Let me know what you're loving painting right now, what you're reaching for out of your collection, because I'm kind of feeling like that inspired to move into more summery colors and wear corals and brights and just have fun and creativity. Although lipstick wise, I've been digging like the grungy like 90s brown vibe, which I wanted to share with you because the combo that I love, I'm actually wearing this in the Get Ready With Me that I made for this look, so if you're interested, I'll go on and link that as well. But it's the Maybelline lip liner in the shade Spice Chocolate. I love that, or not Spice Chocolate, I'm sorry, Rich Chocolate. It's shade number 120. It has a little bit of a burgundy tone to it. And then I'm going over the top with one of the Revlon Super Lustrous Matte Lipsticks in the shade Superstar Brown. And when you see this in the tube, it looks kind of like scary and super like cool tone, like almost poopy brown. That sounds so terrible, doesn't it? But on the lips together, it's just, I love it. I love how it comes together. It's very flattering, and it gives me like this, you know, it's not quite like hot weather yet, but at the same time, we're not wearing tons of like wool clothes and dark colors. Like today I'm wearing this like very florally shirt that has kind of a lighter vibe to it, and the brown lipstick just looks perfect. So that's about it. Like I said, thank you so much for giving me some of your time, and enjoy the rest of your day and have lots of fun shopping your stash. I look forward to catching up with you soon. So see you later.